all right.
Can you make my hair look like this?
Oh, man, what you want to make your hair look like that for?
See, that's the problem with y'all today. Y'all don't know nothing.
Will you let the man tee you off? You yap worse than 6 barbers.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Your Barber podcast. I'm your host, Matt Ballot, a.k.a. Matty Blades. Got a special guest here today. This guy, I work right next to him, right in the trenches there. Know what I mean? He's a very special guy here. I'm going to bring in my friend, Miguel Rivera, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up. Give it up for him. Give it up for him.
Yo, you try to fuck with Barcelona, it's a crucial calling. Guaranteed you.
All right, my man.
So
I can't play more than 10 seconds of anything or else they'll fucking pull it.
That's all right.
I already got hit with a copyright claim. I'm assuming it's Jerry Seinfeld or Eddie Murphy from one of those. They're kind of the syndication kings. So
2 big names there.
yeah, I want to make sure I play less than 5 seconds of movie clips. So I got the claim, and they said like the owner allowed the content to be played. So I guess real recognize real or something like that.
Well, I mean, as long as everything is it doesn't disparage their name or make them look bad, they'll allow it.
Right. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm hoping. So, my man, how you doing, man? There he is. There he is.
Yes, sir.
So, Miguel, tell me, how did you first get started in the barber industry there?
I mean, I guess you're referring to the first day I picked up a pair of clippers. And
yeah, we could start there.
Okay, well, I mean, I was around about 12, 13 years old, if I can remember correctly.
12,
Barber jacked on my hairline. and the rest is history. No, I mean, the hairline jacking up was actually the truth. Yeah, I mean, I got
what pair of clippers was it?
Huh?
What pair of trimmers was it?
The Andis, more than likely.
Outliners? You fucking cut up your head and shit like I did.
See,
in the corner, I'll be like, fuck.
Well, look, that was a time way before the mod frenzy started happening.
Right,
so,
of course.
So it was I mean, he was a decent hair cutter. But honestly, like I really didn't want to see this chick. He was just the type of person that when you walked in the barbershop, he didn't say anything. Unless he knew you for a long time, he probably liked you a little bit. But most of the time, he was just a sourpuss. I mean, he literally had that same face as that angry cat all the time. Yeah, man. So, slow day, went to go get my hair cut. He was the only one available. And, yeah, I mean, noticed that my hairline was crooked. I mean, like a significant amount, And having the friends that I had, shoot, I wasn't going to go back to the neighborhood looking like that.
Right. Yeah, they won't let you forget that one.
No, not at all. But it was one of those things that I found myself surprised at the fact I even spoke up and said anything about it, and I guess the embarrassment of getting trashed by my friends outweighed my bashfulness to have to speak up to an adult, and and be like, tell him to fix his work, and then he had that. Huh?
What'd he say? Do you remember?
Oh, no. I mean, look, it was plain as day, simple. What he did was, like, I told him, hey, my hairline looks crooked. He stands behind me, cocks my head a little bit, and no, it's straight. I was like, nah. I said, I don't walk around.
You can't be like this the whole time you're getting your hair cut.
I'm telling you.
That's a real thing. People do that shit. And they'll be like, yo, come on, straighten out here.
Right.
And they're sitting in the chair like this.
Oh, they're slouching like crazy.
Right. Yeah. That's a real thing.
It is. But then when I told him, like, I didn't walk around like that, he he said, so what do you want me to do? He said, just fix it. Sucked his teeth, did a couple of little taps here and there. I looked at it. I was like, all right, cool. It'll work. It sent me on my way. All I know is that as I was halfway home, I really didn't like the feeling that how he spoke to me or treated me as a client. So I just figured, you know what? I getting even all over. I can't mess this up. I just got to figure out how to do the line. That's it.
Right.
But after that, we got home, talked to my mom, asked her to buy me a pair of clippers. She asked if everything was all right. I just gave her, a decent rational thought that I had, and just told her, look, we can save money if I just come on here. She was like, all right, cool. I never told her about that experience though, because honestly, I don't even know what she would have done.
Really? You think you kind of crack some heads in there, a little something?
I mean, honestly, my mom was too busy working. Single mom at the time, 4 kids. Maybe she could have, maybe she wouldn't have, because sometimes she did accompany us to the shop. But since we were already in our teens or going in our teens, she allowed us to walk down the block by ourselves. So
when she was at work, it was like grandma in the mix, grandpa. You were just in these streets. You were outside, as they say. You wasn't outside.
No, I mean, in the beginning, I had the responsibility. I had to take care of my siblings, being the oldest. But, once we got up there in age, in our teens, when we thought we were grown-ups, trying to be grown-ups, yeah, we were definitely in the streets.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I was home alone at like 10.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Back in the AOL days, that kind of took up time.
The dial-up.
Come home and like, check this shit out, guys. This is going to be good. Yeah, man. So tell these people where you're from originally.
Originally from New York City, the Bronx.
New York City, the Bronx. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
BX Borough. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So did you ever cut hair in New York while you were there?
I tried. I had my once my brother, for example. A lot of it started with my brother. He's the second oldest. He was a pretty boy, slick Rick. Everybody called him. He just had a way with words and the girls. And yeah, so he was more the social butterfly, while I was more the homebody, whatever. Just really working on myself, stuff. Either art, reading, whatever. So once he noticed I wasn't jacking myself up, he asked me to cut his hair, and then his friends started to notice. And I kept asking him, "Yo, who's your barber?" And he would say me.
Was he embarrassed to say? Was he wanting to like?
No,
because you were the oldest, though.
I think low key was proud of the fact that that he can say, "No, it's my brother. I didn't go to any other barber. My brother hooked me up," because if he's getting positive feedback on the haircut, I think he was gonna definitely share the love up on that.
Oh yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Miguel, we're in ATL now. We're in Georgia. What brought you to Georgia originally?
Really, when I found out I was going to be a father for the first time.
Okay. Wait, did you move from New York to Georgia, or did you go somewhere else first?
No. From New York to straight to Georgia. I did spend a little time here in Georgia visiting. And then after I got back to New York, I found out that my girl was pregnant. I was like, okay, I did like the way Georgia resonated with me. Quiet. Pretty much it was the suburbs, really. Got the piece of quiet surrounded by greenery. You couldn't beat it. So I think it'd probably be a good place to raise kids.
A lot of people like to get out of New York. I feel like there's very few that stay. It's like that any hometown, really. Wherever you're from, you always yearn to leave. You got a youngin there. You got he's 1 year old, right?
9 months.
9 months, so he's not even there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
If he was one, you'd probably understand quiet.
Speaking of being in the trenches, you're in it, man, right now. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So you start cutting in Gwinnett, right? That's about 45 minutes north of where we work now.
With light traffic, I'll be about 45 minutes. I started off in Loganville.
Where's that at?
It's east on 78.
Okay.
If you take Highway 78 all the way east, as if you was heading towards Monroe, it's about 2 cities before you hit Monroe.
Okay.
hmm
So how was your experience cutting in all these places prior to coming to our spot now?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, I had spent 11 years working in one shop, and that I actually helped.
11 years.
Yeah, is because I'm the owner. I met him at barber school, at Pro Hair School down on Memorial Drive. So I met him there. Eventually he invited me to where he was working at. He was working in a small little shop salon with a stylist, and eventually he opened the doors for me to come through work with him, and he actually opened the doors for him to actually own his own space, and he and I started working together more frequently from there, and pretty much helped him build up that shop.
How long did it take you to get through barber school?
My program originally, I was doing night school.
Night school. That's a good option. That's
Yeah.
that's I feel like that's not a common thing. Right?
I guess it depends on how well established the school is.
Yeah.
But this one, it was around for a few years before I got there. They had given me two options whether I could go to the day program or night program, but I wasn't trying to work overnight.
No.
I can definitely wake up early in the morning and work however many hours I could.
Right. So you're able to earn some money when you were in school.
Right.
That's big because
Yeah.
I did not. Wifey held it down on 16 grand or graduate student stipend. So
Yeah.
and I worked a little bit here and there, but it really was so inconsistent. I
Mhm.
drove for Lyft. So yeah, that was just, you make like $60 on one ride. You're like, I think I'm done for the day. Right?
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that one.
You hit a big one. You're like, time to take a break.
But that was the good old days before they started chopping up the rates.
Oh, dude, it's fucked up because the passenger thinks you're making all this money. It's like, no, like I'm making jack shit, dude.
Right.
It's like whatever you pay me, they split that on top of that. Like whatever you think it is, it's not even close.
Right. They take over 50% of the commission, so to speak.
It's brutal.
It
We know
is.
all about this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So man, I worked today. It's Monday. This is the day after Super Bowl Sunday.
Mhm.
We might put this out next Monday, but we're knocking 2 days in a row. I'm recording. So
There
you
you
check
go.
out the Super Bowl last night. What'd you do there?
Nah, I caught most of it. I was over at my sister's house, so watching it with my brother-in-law, and throughout the first half, I was falling asleep. I mean, it was a good game.
Riri came out standing on the Super Smash Brother platform.
Man, I mean, it was a good game. It was definitely exciting. I mean, the fact that they was able to go head to head like that and keep the score really close. I really thought it was gonna go, really, high points the way they were rolling back and forth. So, but I mean, my body was just shutting down on me, man.
Yeah, it happens, dude.
The amount of hours that we work, and then because I also part time for Lyft and Uber. So
Right.
so
Miguel's whipping it out here around and cutting and being a father and a husband. Dude, I mean, you're crushing it.
Well, too many hats to wear, man. Eventually it'll take a toll, but it's all for a good cause.
Staying busy is good for the mind, though. Anything creeping in is good for keeping yourself busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keeping busy is good for preventing anything coming in.
Mm.
So before barbering, speaking of other kind of work, what kind of other jobs did you work in the past?
I guess you could say the last job I had before going into barbering, I worked at a Simonized car wash.
Really?
Yeah. I pretty much I interviewed for a sales position, ended up walking out of there with a manager's.
Dude, you were one of these guys to be like, tell you what, I'll give you a discount. Throw this on, that on.
Nah.
Tell you what, you need this. I'll tell you what, one time I'll give you a discount. Guys walking to the counter, it's a $300 bill.
Hey, If I can do it, sure. But now, I
So
mean,
you
like
did that type of stuff though. You were able to kind of.
no, I mean, like I said, I mean, like I walked in there interviewing for a sales job, but I walked out of there with a manager's job.
There you go. So you were able to.
Yeah.
Wait, so you didn't even work as a sales guy before
Mm-mm.
you came in the manager. Well, how'd you have that kind of how'd you come right in being the manager there?
Well, see, here's the thing, because I did a lot of interviewing before coming down to Georgia. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that I went through, but what I do is a lot of self-reflection. And what happens is that I develop a mindset of I don't have anything to lose going into this interview. I looked at everybody else who I was interviewing with, and everybody was sheep. Everybody was just so looking like bashful or, praying that they get the job. I was like, "Oh, fuck this. I'm going to get the job." So what happened with that interview is that halfway through the interview, the guy started telling me about something or another day. He was like, he sat back for a minute. He's thinking like, look, most of my employees are Hispanic. They mostly speak Spanish, very little English. I might need somebody for a manager's job. I was like, look, you got my resume. I have recruiting and managing experience. Really, it's up to you to decide what you want me to do. So by the end of it,
You put the ball in his court.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, I said something a lot slicker than that. I mean, because pretty much
Right. You had to crush the interview, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I read because the thing is, I read who I was interviewing with. I read him like a book. He appeared to me like a no-nonsense type of guy. So I spoke to him in a no-nonsense kind of way. I was like, look, all you have to do is, give me an opportunity. Give me 2 weeks to learn the system. You as the manager, if you train me how you want things done, in about 2 weeks, I should be able to, get really close as doing as proper as you would do it, on a daily basis. And since I literally put it in his hands, he sat back for a minute, looked at me. I already thought I put my foot in my mouth on that one. And he was like, okay.
He's like, you got yourself a goddamn job.
Yeah, he was like, how soon can you start? I was like, how soon you want to start training me?
There you go. Then you reeled it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So you spoke on, just to kind of do a little side thing here real quick, you spoke on reading people. Barbers I feel like barbers are really good at reading people. Barbers have that trait to where they're able to kind of gauge things when someone's in your chair, how they're feeling. You mentioned also earlier, you said someone, sucking their teeth. So you ever have one of these guys in your chairs, a huffer and puffer? Right? We get a lot of those, I feel like, in our shop. Like, what's going through your brain when you get... It's like,
usually those type of guys, those type of guys tend to throw themselves in the chair, just. And I'm like, hey, everything okay? So.
Right. It's like, dude, I was 5 minutes behind. Relax. What's going on in your life?
Oh, well, since you're putting it that way,
that can add an element. There's
you recall the guy who was late for like 10 minutes, and he says he was like, hope you won't be quick on my haircut just to get to the next guy.
Oh no, I remember.
Yeah.
What'd you say to that guy?
No, actually, before he said that, I was like, because the thing is that whenever I run behind schedule, I no longer apologize for being late. It happens. Yeah. Plus it puts me in a very defensive or weakened position when it comes to the client. So,
that always goes through my brain of like, I'm running behind and they know that, and then they're going to think I'm going to speed through this.
Right. So, no, I know what I normally tell them is I thank you for your patience. I appreciate you being patient with me, right, and then sit them in the chair. Normally, when you approach a client, from that position, they say, no problem. It's all right. It gave me a chance to go get a drink. It gave me a chance to, answer some phone calls and make, or emails or whatever the case may be. But this guy, he was like, well, I'm not a patient man. And
This
as he was
fucking
sitting in my
guy.
chair, so I'm thinking to myself, like, I heard the sarcasm, but I just wasn't sure whether or not
He was
he
too
was
serious.
joking,
Yeah.
After that, I was like, okay. And then, so when he sits in my chair, he's like, well, I hope you don't rush through my haircut, just so you could get to the next guy. I'm like, well, I'll go through your haircut, I'll take the time that's necessary for your haircut. And so he pretty much got a short buzz. 15 minutes, I was done.
So what kind of haircut did you get? You just got like a
short buzz. I mean,
you got a number on top.
Yeah, like almost.
okay.
Well, pretty much. I think either it was a half. I think it was a half. But with his hair, with his thin hair, pretty much, it looked like he was getting a baldy, and he was or a zero. So
Gotcha.
yeah, but but the only reason why it even lasted 15 minutes is because I actually slowed down and took my time. Because if not,
Right.
5 to 7 minutes, I would have been done if it was in a Dominican shop.
Right. You got to pamper a little bit. You got turn it on a little bit here and there.
Well, what we call that in Dominican shops is letting him warm the chair up a little bit.
Just barely getting warm. This thing's Luke.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. So we going back to just the people in your life coming up, like say your mom, she was obviously in your life a lot, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And how'd she feel? Like, how supportive was she, of you becoming a barber? Or just your people in your life, really?
I mean, most were excited. Others, the one person that was really close to me, I won't mention their name, pretty much just said that, we barbers don't do anything but sit around and talk shit all day. So I let them keep that opinion to themselves, keep that opinion of me and whatever the case, whatever happens after that. But most of everybody in my family and, my friends and everybody who knew me, they were excited for me. Someone doubted me a little bit, obviously when you know somebody who's doing a business that, like, for example, in our business, you already have your main barber who cuts really nice, but now you got your friend who's looking to come up,
Yeah.
But, overall, everybody was supportive of me. The only thing they say, as long as it made me happy and I was able to support my family with it, they were cool.
Is everyone, all your people still in New York? Anyone get out? And your brothers, anyone?
I mean, most of my family's down here in Georgia.
So they all moved. A lot of them.
Not all of them. My brother, he ended up going back to New York. Rick, the guy I mentioned earlier.
Rick.
Yeah, he ended up going back to New York and actually met his wife up there and pretty much ended up staying.
Staying there. Yeah, that'll keep you there for sure. All right. So I'm working today on Monday, right? And I think I come in at 10. I leave around 4:30 to go pick up my daughter. Leave a little early on Mondays. I didn't have anyone until 12:30. Mondays are slow in general. Like,
okay,
that's kind of like my make or break day. Like, if I get if I get somewhere in that 6 to 8 region, that's a great day for Monday because I'm not in there that long and it's, not a huge barber shop day. So I'm thinking I'm coming in today. I'm like, day after the Super Bowl, everyone's probably hungover. Then I'm thinking maybe, some employers gave their people days off. So maybe it would pick up. And I'm like, oh shit, it's the day before Valentine's Day, man.
Yeah.
Another layer. So I didn't have anyone to 12:30 and I had 2 back to back right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm on my second guy. This guy's like ex-military dude. So I brought up in the last podcast, I lived in this small town in PA called Meadville.
Mm-hmm.
And when I told him where I, just my background, where I was coming from and everything, I said, I was in this town just south of Erie in PA, and he just comes out and says, Meadville? I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He's like, what's your last name? I'm like, I'm not from there. But like, So this guy, I can't remember where he said he was from originally, but he basically said he got catfish before it was catfish. Like he got catfish like on Windows 98. Like, so he got catfish and then got her pregnant. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, you went through with it?
He's a Marine.
So, like, he's like, well, not a catfish of a sense that it was like physically. It was just kind of like she was a fraud. Like, what she said she was something else. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I see. I hear you now.
Like saying she was a model, but not really.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking like she was, a 10 on Windows 98 and he shows up and it's a dude or something like something else.
Yeah.
So like, I'm like, oh shit. All right. So yeah, he told me that little story and we're bullshitting. And this guy had like, he's like, after the military, I grew out my hair. He had a bunch of curls and shit. And he just kind of wanted a little off the side. He told me a horror story about how he got scalped and shit. And I basically cut down the back and I ended up, he's like, well, let's go. Cause he was like afraid. He's like, it's starting to look like a mullet. And he's like, I'm like, all right, well, I'll just bring down the back a little bit. I played it pretty conservative. He was that last one. I think I had one more person at the end of my day. And that was it. I had 3 people lined up on my book. And so I'm bullshitting with him, taking time. I mean, he's from that little town where I lived, or he lived there too. So we're bullshitting, and then he ends up wanting more off. I like skin tapered him, and then he liked it. And all of a sudden, I see his kid on the couch. I'm just like, that's got to be someone else's, right? And now look at my book. There's like 4 people back to back right after that. I'm like, God damn, here we go. Like I knew I should have tapped my little square there to see. Yeah. Sometimes I tap it and it didn't refresh or anything.
Right.
So sometimes it's better looking at your phone in those scenarios. But so little things like that help keep you on time. Tapping that screen and be like, all right, where am I at? Oh shit! Like you kind of get blindsided taking your own time. So like, what are some of the things you think that like kind of keeps you on time? Once you're prioritizing, once you may be running behind because we work next to each other. This is a common thing for us. Me and Miguel, Thursday, at least Thursday and Friday, we're the last ones out of the shop.
Yeah.
We're sometimes you squeeze in one of the homies at the end of the day. That's a different thing too. But like, yeah, it's.
Squeezing in. I'm done with that.
No.
Look, I've been doing this long enough to know that if you haven't booked your appointment, accordingly, these are my hours. That I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it because like the thing is that don't get me wrong. Sometimes I look at some of these barbers who's just making buku money. I'm like, damn, they really get in the bag. But for me to be a lot of times I don't get home till like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night.
Right.
And I've already missed out on 16 hours out of the day with my kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, so by the time I get home, I need to decompress. I need to go. They're ready for bed to get them ready for school. So it's like I'm not sacrificing my time with children anymore, with my family. So those are top of the priorities when it comes to like you got me from 10 to 7. If you can't get in by then, there's another day. If you don't want any other day, oh well.
I hear you breaking your guys' balls sometimes. With
well,
look at this guy. He's on time today. All right. Look at this guy.
Oh, that one guy, he's religiously 5 minutes behind schedule.
Yeah.
99% of the time.
Yeah.
So what I started doing with him before I moved to Miami, I talked to him like, all right, if he wants 10 o'clock, I tell him 9:55. So that way he gets there on time.
Right. Yeah, you got playing ahead with some people for sure.
Yeah.
I do that with my wife.
And it was working until he figured it out what I was doing. And then he started showing exactly 10:05. I'm like, dadgummit.
Yeah. You start throwing like, all right, show up 9:53.
No, I told him I'm about to talk to him like 9:30. So you can sit there and wait for the next 15, 20
Yeah, you
minutes.
just sit there for a little bit there. You just sit there.
Yeah.
So Miami, you totally skipped over Miami. I mean, that's a whole tray
Well,
of
you didn't ask.
mayo,
But
man.
hang
What
on now,
happened?
like because we were talking about staying on time, the priorities, right? So let me
Okay,
answer,
so let's
let
get
me
back
answer
to
that real quick before we move forward to Miami. Staying on time, usually with me nowadays, I just try not to talk as much, because I know me. I sometimes, I can't speak and cut hair at the same time. Other times, I get so into the conversation, I step back. I'm like, are you serious? And, just to emphasize whatever the conversation is about. And it gets really good a lot of times. But, really just keeping an eye on the clock and knowing, keeping also a strategy how you're going to go about the haircuts. So client consultation is extremely important. Make sure you know exactly what they want, know your tools, and how to use them. Because at the end of the day, that consultation was going to save you time and money.
It takes time to get it down pat, the consultation. But if you don't get it down pat, then, it's going to fuck you at the end of the haircut.
Right.
Like, what I really wanted was like, oh, okay, you did that. And
Oh, they were like, oh, can I get a little shorter? I'm like, dude, I'm finishing up the cut. You telling me you want it shorter now?
Yeah.
That's why I don't even bother showing them.
I spin them towards the mirror before I even like start their neck shave or decape them or anything. Just to, how's the top look? Fuck the size. Don't look at the side. Look at the top. Tell me if the top done. Are we good?
Yeah. Sometimes those few little seconds means minutes.
No doubt. No, that's
minutes.
something I could work on. You definitely do your due diligence in your consultation because you're just like,
Yeah, look, dude, I gave away too many free haircuts just on miscommunication.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I definitely don't want to do that anymore.
I don't want to do 3 haircuts. Like,
no, and
one haircut.
What sucks is that when you see the client wait on you, and all of a sudden they get up and leave. I mean, it's like, oh damn, now I missed out on that haircut, and more than likely I'm not going to see that guy again.
Yeah.
So
the consultation early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something I definitely need to. I'm usually all right, man. Say less. I got you.
Yeah.
But you always got to make sure they know what the hell they're talking about. They start throwing like, the word low fade around and shit. And they just think that's how short the hair is on the side. And it's like, wait.
Yeah.
No, he's like, real low, so short. I'm like, wait, no.
Yeah.
Low is where it is on your head.
By it. Ask them what they mean, or to describe to you what exactly they mean by it. Is extremely important. I had a kid years ago when I was still in the beginning, or maybe a year or two into it. This kid, from Florida, came into the shop. He says, "Yeah, let me get a tape up." Now, as a New Yorker, I know tape up as a temp fade. So I'm like, all right, cool, no problem. And what about the
temp fade? I take that as always as like a high taper, a temp fade.
See, again.
But I wouldn't take temp fade as a high taper. I would just, all right. Now, like, I usually call that a taper. Like, are we talking low, mid, high? And then, always get down to I'm like, you want me to line up this right behind your ear and shit, right? Like, and they said, nah. It's like, okay, that's not a taper then. Like,
yeah.
So, you always got to get through that for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So New York, they call it a temp fade a lot.
But no, temp fade, taper, right? That's how we know it as. And again, this kid said, "Yeah, let me get a taper." I'm like, "All right, cool, no problem." Shape up the top and not leave the top alone. All right, bet. So I'm fading him out. I get done with one side, start on the other side. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm taping you up." He says, "No, I wanted my hairline taped." I'm like, "Wait a minute, you want to shape up?" And he's like, "No."
Saying, man.
He's like, "Nah, in Florida, we call a lineup a taper." I'm like, "Well, in New York, we call a lineup a shaper." Okay, and a taper is a haircut. So that's one of the main haircuts that I remember giving away, that I was like, I need to definitely get control of this consultation thing and really find out what people mean by what they mean, what they think they mean. So, so I tell them already at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get whatever's inside their head and transmute that into reality, onto the outside of their head. So that's why I ask a ton of questions, or even sometimes I ask the same question in a different way.
No, that's smart.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had a military dude. He's probably closer to my age, maybe a year or two younger, in Meadville, and he had like a curly top, kind of, you know what I mean? And he said he wanted a 5 on top.
Mm-hmm.
And just out of respect, I was like, this guy's in the military. He knows his guards. He's gotten a few short haircuts before, right? He knows a 5. So I take the 5 to his head, and he about lost his shit. And it was like just awkward. The rest of it, and then you gotta get through the rest of the haircut. You still gotta fade him up. And so it's just like real quiet. And we ended up getting through it, and he ended up being a really good client of mine, actually. So he gave me more chances. But yeah, I was saying that's why I told him basically. I'm like, dude, I just thought you knew what a 5 was on top. Like I assumed. You can't always assume, that's for sure.
Not at all.
Especially when something that drastic. That's
that reminds me of this kid. Now this kid, he's been to the shop a lot of times. He kind of hops around the different chairs a little bit because he's just doesn't like making appointments.
Right.
He goes to whoever's available. This evening he comes in. Now mind you, this kid, he was sporting that Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta, whatever style, right?
Right.
And
the fucking Goku.
Right. And so you with the utmost confidence, he sits in the chair, he's like, yeah, let me get another 5s and a 10 fade. The barber's like, okay, you know, that's what's up, but kid that knows what he wants. Exactly. So he starts buzzing him down. Now mind you, this particular shop, the shop owner, he had a partition wall where he put the benches at. And there were sections of the wall where it went up a certain height, so you could put mirrors in front of there, and then you also had the station mirror. So gotcha. if you walked out of that shop with a bad haircut, it's because you're either blind or that's how you wanted it.
Right.
Okay? So there was no way you could walk out of there with a bad haircut. There's so many mirrors in that shop. So this kid, again, confident. Yeah, number 5, 10 fade. Cool. Barber
when they say with that confidence, it's like, all right.
Yeah, just like you figure, you know what? I respect, the man knows what he wants. So he started buzzing him down. He caught a glance at the mirror. He was like, oh, dude, you coming way too short. I'm like, yo, you said number 5. And we all chimed in about that. Yeah, we heard you say the 5.
Yeah.
Right? And he was like, damn. He had to bite that bullet. And his hair was like so short.
Have you ever got mad at someone that like, nah, I said this? It's like, no, you didn't.
It has happened before, but that's why like that consultation again, you repeat what they said.
Yeah.
You said this is what you want. So we're clear on that. Yeah. So there's no way they can come back and say, well, I didn't say that. You're my guy. You did say that. We went over, you said it 3 times.
I had one in Arizona in my very first shop. There was a kid haircut, and the mom was telling me what she wanted. She said she wanted a 2 on top. And I was like, all right, this is gonna be pretty short, 2 on top. All right, and you want a skin fade? Yeah. Mid fade? Yeah. All right, 2 on top, skin fade, coming right up. I take that 2 right on top with the grain, shit's rolling off, and it's like, oh my God. He's like, his dad's gonna kill me. His dad's gonna kill me. I'm like, what do you mean? You said 2 on top. And he's like, no, I didn't. You said it 2. I didn't say it 2. I'm like, don't put words in my mouth. You said 2. And that was one, like, my boss had to kind of like comp the haircut and like make sure everything was good. Like, that was one of those ones I went in the bathroom, like swinging.
Yeah,
take a breather.
that was one of the situations where she needed a scapegoat and she did not want to take responsibility.
Right.
So sometimes in situations like that, I'll be like, look, we agreed on the 2. I said, we agreed on the 2. But if it makes you feel any better to save you grief from your husband, blame it on me. You said 3. I said I put the wrong guard. Whatever. It happens. He can't get too upset about that. And if he comes looking for me, then I guess we're gonna have a conversation about it.
Right. It's like, was a picture day tomorrow or something? Like, what's the big deal?
Yeah. No, but even then, situations like that, you understand. Like women are not accustomed to bringing their boys to the shop. At least if they're married. But even if they're not married, and they're single moms or whatnot, usually the dad comes in and says, usually the dad is the one taking them to the barbershop, but they just couldn't do it that day. So sometimes, by asking them, okay, hey, what's the normal style for him, for the kid? That could also save you, that type of
what you typically do. Yeah.
Yeah, because if they confidently say, hey, give him a number 2, but you're looking at his hair, because when you comb it through that hair, you say, okay, do you normally comb it? It's a comb over towards the back, towards the front, this is and that. Again, that consultation. Always go to the consultation.
It's huge.
And being observant to what the style is that the kids have, because if you notice that he normally combs it over, even if they've been grown out for a month or 2, but it's still mostly combed over, you can say, hey, I know you said it 2, but does he normally comb his hair over? He said, yeah. Okay, well, how about if I cut it down short enough on top where it can still comb it over? So you're saying maybe a 2 on the sides.
Right.
You see? So, again, getting to what they have in their minds and transmute that into real life. So again, it's a case of playing alchemy with words.
Right. If you don't be careful, you can end up like this kid.
Yeah. See, his hair wasn't parted, and you could tell he has a cowlick that goes a different way. I don't think the barber did a really good job in
I guarantee he kind of said, like, I guarantee that consultation went awry.
Well, maybe it
top.
did. Maybe it did. Maybe the barber just didn't use the blow dryer and put everything how it should be, or the parting wasn't done right.
Right.
But
yeah, that broccoli top. What do you think about it?
I mean,
very popular cut right now.
It's been a popular cut for a long time. I mean, again,
at least 3 or 4 years now.
Maybe. I mean, I guess. In Gwinnett.
Fucking what's the LaMelo Ball or the Ball kid?
Ball kid.
Yeah, LaMelo Ball. He had it in the high school.
Oh,
he's shooting from half court while the rest of the team just watches him.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to them folks, man.
There's no reason to, right? There's no reason to. But I feel like he kind of started it. Him and Odell.
Right.
That curly top. So, I mean, Odell, shit, he was rocking that in like 2016. So, yeah, it's been like 6 years that thing's been around. So, I got a little visitor here.
I see.
I'm going to play something that's broccoli cut related real quick while I handle her real fast.
All right.
Cut has got to stop. You like broccoli, bruv. You look like the world's ugliest bonsai tree. Stop it. I'm growing it. No, you're not. I'm scalping you.
Okay.
So, yeah. Pissed off Barber, man. He is this guy's got the best barber content probably on Instagram right now.
Yeah, I noticed him. I just don't understand why he's hiding his face. I mean, based on his eyes,
he talks so much shit.
See, based on his eyes, he almost looked like the broccoli head kid.
Right?
Maybe that's why he's hiding his face, because he is the broccoli head.
Yeah, dude, this guy, he's gonna be a very common visual aid on this podcast.
Okay.
He is the fucking guy cracks me up. He does these like illustrations too. It's like a little comic book thing of a barbershop scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking hilarious, dude. But so going back to Miami, you said you ended up in Miami. That was after New York or Georgia, then Miami, then Georgia again?
I mean, by that point, I was in Georgia 15 years. After 1 year after COVID, I left. From COVID, my clients didn't want to go back to that busy shop that I've been there for 11 years. Opened up my own little suite. Was there for a year, and then Pretty much, my wife and I decided that, my two elders, they were living with their mom up in South Carolina. We had a bunch of time and energy, on our hands. So we figured that we didn't have much else holding us down here in Georgia. But we decided to give Miami a shot because we wanted the beach. Truth be told, better weather, more consistent weather, let me say.
Right. So, yeah, I've never been to Miami for some reason. I've been a ton of places in Florida, but just never Miami.
Well, okay. I was going to say, because, damn, that'd be almost hard to believe. But I've met quite a few people who've never been to Miami. Northern parts of Florida, West Florida, yeah, but not Miami.
Nothing about really attracts me to go down there either. Maybe when I was younger, but not now.
Yeah.
Everyone down there is just fucking ripped, like tan and like.
Nah, man. Look, it just really depends on what you're looking to do. Really, Miami is just not a party town. There's so much more going on out there. There's a lot of outdoor activities, especially aquatic activities. Shoot, just the fact that during a night of driving, once I hit this one spot, I think it's on the 2500 block. I'll pull over and sit at the beach for 10 to 15 minutes a night. Have just me and the beach by myself.
The beach at night's the best, dude.
Yeah,
nothing like it.
Mm-hmm.
Hanging out, dude. You made me think of what was it, Saturday when that one dude walked in. He tried to squeeze in. He's just real quick. The sides and back. Hey, I'll even pay you full price.
Oh no, he wasn't a squeeze in. He was actually an appointment.
Oh, he was just late.
Yeah, he was late 15 minutes.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, and he was like, Jerry Seinfeld stuff. He was like, yo, can you still come? I'm like, dude, it won't be fair for me to try to cut your hair in 15 minutes. And plus,
it's not fair for you, and it's not fair for him.
And he had about maybe 4 to 5 inches of hair all the way around and combed over. So, I'm not going to rush through his head, Right. I wasn't going to do that to him.
That's a tough position because I crumble a lot in those positions. I don't crumble if I know, what it's going to do to me the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That I stop that shit quick. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to piss off everyone on my day now.
Right. The thing is, one thing I learned during my tenure, I guess you want to call it, my 13, 14 years of cutting hair professionally. I paraphrase it that way professionally because I want to include, those are the years I've been licensed.
Exactly.
But truly, it's been about since we kind of from 12, 13, we're looking at 25 years of haircutting experience.
You're a veteran in this, man.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that, you gotta know when to say no. And if you know, look, if he wasn't even all over, sure, I could knock him on 15 minutes and afford to be 5 minutes late.
He wanted his top cut too.
Yeah, eventually tried to negotiate it where he said, "No, just do the size. Don't worry about the top." I'm like,
and I'll pay you full price. Like that's as if that's not a haircut.
Exactly. I told him, like, look, even if it was just the sides, it'll still be a haircut price. You still paying full price.
Right.
He's okay. Can you still do it? Like, no, it won't be fair to you because then also gotta take into account. Because first of all, I don't like half-assing my work.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
So, and that's one thing that I learned. I had a lot of kids thinking that they could come to the shop, just get a temp fade and do nothing else with the top, for example, right? So, and they thought that would be a cheaper haircut. Nah. And at first, I was like, it made sense. So yeah, instead of $15 at the time, okay, I'll knock it down to 10. Easy 15-minute job, right? But then I'm thinking to myself, like, these kids are going to be walking around in school. They're going to be asked, or they're going to be bragging about where they got their haircut at.
A walking advertisement.
And they'll be like, yeah, Miguel at over here at such and such barber shop cut my hair. So more than likely, I may not get clients out of there, from them. So I was like, no, you know what? That's it. I'm not half-assing my work. I don't mind going through the whole process, whatever. you know.
That was always my sentiment. That was always my argument for people squeezing in.
Mhm.
Like, I love my old boss, but she would love doing that. We get a walk in. I'm fully booked for the day. I may have finished a little early and I had
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes, and she'd be like, "Oh, what do you think you squeezed that guy in?" I'm like, I don't do this because he is a walking advertisement. I'm diminishing my work. And what happens? This guy walks out, some Joe Schmo sees him, and he's like, who cut your fucking hair? Oh, I'm not going there.
Right.
Right.
Or no, the fact that he might walk out with a good haircut, but now you're backed up 15, 20 minutes
Right.
on the rest.
That's the thing.
rest of
I'm
your
not
appointment.
going to sacrifice the quality of the rest of my day, clients that actually come to me, for some fucking guy that's just walking by the shop that I might not see again, or he's an
Exactly.
out of towner. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
you got to put a
you're-
lot more stock into people that you know, that live in the town, that live nearby. Like, those people always are prioritized to me. Like, sometimes the out of towners, like, you know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you hook them up, but like,
Yeah.
in the back of your head, you're like, this isn't as important as, someone local.
Right. Now, but I mean, that person might be a local too. It's just that, I mean, the argument, there's always going to be an argument for and against, the squeeze-ins. And because I've had people tell me, like, Miguel, I know you could finish him up in 10 minutes. I'm like, dude, I don't know what he's getting done. I don't know him. Right. Yeah. I don't know what he wants to get done. He might walk in with a full head of hair, and a beard. He might want both done. I'm like, no. And, so it comes down to the point where give respect to those who took the time out to book with you, whether they made the phone call, they made the text, or they actually start booking online. Okay. Yeah. Show those people respect, because those are the ones who's going to stick around.
Yeah, the people that made the effort to make an appointment is pretty big.
Those who are hard-headed about making appointments, they just want to walk in. Hey, if they wasted enough time of their day, they're not going to waste mine. They can waste their time at the shop too. We got plenty of TVs and refreshments for them to enjoy while they wait for someone to become available.
Plenty of sights to see, plenty of drinks to be drank. Yeah.
Or they can sit on their phones if they want, whatever.
Right.
But,
Going back to being silent, I just remember there's typically 3 things that are why I'm silent. Number 1, probably I'm way behind, and I just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to do that normally. Number 2, the clients, back to reading the client. Some people don't want to talk. Some people are busy. They know that kind of adds time. Some people. Mm-hmm. And then, there might be a little language barrier sometimes. That's the third thing, typically, where it usually makes me pretty quiet. Like, you get through the pleasantries in the beginning, the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then shit goes cold. Radio silence after that.
Yeah. There's the awkward silence after the greetings and the description, the consultation. But also, part of the silence is knowing when to stay quiet, because sometimes you get that little voice or that itch in the back of your mind, telling like, just wait. This is way too quiet. This is way too awkward.
Yeah.
Let me say something.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the vibe that you're probably getting from that person who might want to speak. But at the end of the day, I got a job to do. They didn't come here to have a conversation with me. They came to get a haircut.
Right. I try to not let that bother me as much as I feel like it definitely does. That shit bothers me sometimes, where I'm like, this is too quiet. This is too awkward. Like, I let that affect me too much, and I need to stop letting that affect me.
Well, I mean,
the best way right now. Go ahead.
The best way to do figure it out is you ask open-ended questions, and if they answer it in short answers, then they give you short answers. They don't want to talk. They say, "Hey, man, were you able to catch the game?" And it's like, "No." That's it.
Right.
All
right, fair enough. Not a football guy, or are you just not a sports guy?
I don't even bother. I just, after that, I cut it off. Because again, I mean, it's an open-ended question. It's yes. Oh man, yeah, it was crazy, or whatever the case may be. Usually if somebody wants to talk, they'll be more enthusiastic about it, or say more than just 2-3 words. and the tone. Usually if they came like, yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What can you do? After that,
What
just
can you do?
focus on cutting hair.
No doubt. So I'm trying to pull something up real quick
Okay.
that I'm gonna bail on. Because one thing I noticed about you don't wear gloves like I do, like a lot of barbers do. Why is that?
Well, like every other barber, we all start off without wearing gloves. Well, any barber, like, that has my kind of time in the business, we never really wore gloves. So everything was a matter of touch. The feel of the clippers once you start, cutting on the hair, shears, just the sensitivity that I've developed to be able to know how much hair I'm cutting and things like that. Because a lot of times especially when you cut short hair, your sight is one thing, but it's the feel, how it is, when you're fading someone, when you're doing the rake technique, or just the C technique on when you're cutting the hair.
Yeah,
a lot of times
big.
a lot of times the clippers move a little too fast for your eyes to really truly catch what's going on. A lot of barbers maybe like to fake the funk that they can really see what's going on. Who knows? They might have that type of vision, but I know I don't. So everything with me is just based on feel and intuition. So the glove, I felt like it was hindering a lot of that, and plus, eventually, it was an extra added cost that I didn't need. So
yeah,
so
that's a good call.
Yeah, so it's one of those situations where like when you start looking at cost, you start wearing the same gloves, with multiple clients. So now the so-called sanitation aspect of it is out of the window.
Yeah, no, yeah. It looks better than it really is.
Pretty much. It's a costume prop. That's all it is at the end of the day.
That's
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it does protect you from hair splinters, sure. But when you do
a hair sliver, one of the longest in my career. Yes, they sliver like a wood sliver or a metal sliver. They get stuck in our fingers. I'm trying to pull it out from the middle, hoping it's a.
Yeah, he's doing too much. I was just taking the razor. I was taking the razor, started shaving off, very thin layers of my skin. There.
This guy's got a fucking long hair in there, dude.
He ended up having.
How's that happen?
I don't even know how you do that.
Dude, I had my dog. I had a dog hair in the bottom of my toe, like a long dog hair. And I'm like, where the fuck's the hair? I'm looking for the short, dark black hair. And it's just like white, long ass dog hair. I'm like, holy shit, that was it. I thought it was like a loose one just sitting on.
Yeah.
And dude, yeah, hair splinters, dude. I don't know if I'm like on the spectrum or something when it comes to like hair being on my hands, dude. But I'm big on like, you see me with the air compressor all the time, just just blowing shit off me, dude. I can't do it.
I mean, I get it. You don't know where that person been sticking their head in.
Yeah, that's too. Just getting DNA embedded in your. What did it for me, honestly, was my very first boss. Shout out to Frank at House of Blends in Arizona. I'm wearing gloves, or no, I'm not wearing gloves actually when I started there. And he showed me the inside of his index finger. And dude, it looked like a leopard. I'm like, those are fucking hairs? He's like, yeah, some of them, they just never came out. I'm like,
no.
Yeah, that's all I need to see. That's all I need to see.
No,
he's been cutting since he was like, 16, 15, something like that. So he's been through a lot too. So
yeah, no, I think
and then, dude, it wasn't a matter of time before I saw him wearing the gloves after I threw them on. I'm like,
I mean, he should go see a dermatologist. He should have gone see a dermatologist and had those things cut out because, like I said,
dude, I refuse. I refuse. When I get one in there, I don't quit until it's out.
Yeah, like I said, I gradually shave it down until it's finally gone. I mean, sometimes I shave it down a little bit one day, wait 3 days, shave it back down some more until I'm able to get it out. As long as that doesn't impede me from working, because sometimes it does get annoying when you put a little pressure on it. So now you're cutting with pain.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm big on that too. I get that shit out.
Yeah, I don't mean to rush, but this charger is not helping at all. And
Dude,
got
I
like-
told you. I told you
Yeah.
this shit. It's very demanding to stream like this on your.
Yeah, we might have to do a part 2 or something.
Where are you down to right now?
2%. I mean, we got, yeah. Hey, listen, we got a whole hour in with 11%. So
No doubt, no doubt. So real quick, I just want to show people real quick what me and Miguel deal with on a daily basis. There's this page called ATL Scoop. This is our city. Our city, guys. What's today?
Oh, nah. Yo, this is why I stay far away from trucks. Shit like this, bro. Exactly because of shit like this.
Yo, what's she doing?
Boy, what the hell is you doing? You geeked up?
Yo, that's right on
that's on
that
10.
spring right there.
Don't go, let him know.
10, yeah.
If you broke, then you gotta let him go.
What?
You could have anybody.
You not catch that on your shit right there.
That was today?
That was today. It was a chaotic Monday. Dude,
Wow.
I saw 3 wrecks on my way back from work today.
Dude, I'm so glad I avoided that because I actually did do a little bit of driving today. And,
Was
my
it
last
stupid
ride.
out there?
Huh?
Was it stupid out there?
No, I mean, most of the time I was, let me see, I was in Pleasant Hill, then I ended up in Alpharetta. And from Alpharetta, I ended up down into the city, but not too deep into the city. I was more like, where's that place at? Abernathy or whatever.
Okay.
And then from there, came up all the way back into Gwinnett again. So, I mean, I did see some of that traffic around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, but I got through it within
Dude, that
45
looked
minutes.
like Bad Boys 2 right there. The
Man.
whole fucking car carrier was on fire. Was someone
Man,
throw a
shit.
grenade at it?
I don't know. It's starting to look like Ukraine out there.
How the fuck's that happen, dude?
Messing
All right.
around there. A lot of these fake news probably just taking videos from Atlanta and just saying it's Ukraine.
Right. All right, let me blow through a couple quick questions for you that I want to ask you because you work with me every day. So, and I'm big on this too. What makes you more nervous, cutting a celebrity or a fellow barber?
That's a very good question. Okay, if I know the barber, we just shoot the breeze a little bit, it'll help relax me a little bit. Normally I don't like cutting other barbers because
I don't.
we're the worst critics,
Yeah,
of the
and I
barber's
know
work.
that. I'm cutting with that brain, with that thought in my mind the whole time.
Yeah. But celebrities, when it comes to celebrities, yeah, it does give a little bit of a, nerves because the way I see it, my work is going to be posted all over whatever they're going to be working on.
Sometimes I feel like they don't give a shit. They just pop in, just like any other asshole. They just
yeah, I mean, because
It's
I think more than likely they want to be humanized a little more rather than just be a personality.
exactly.
So I definitely give them that. I don't think I've ever been starstruck before. I met a few celebrities in my day. I've cut a few celebrities in my day. I've never really truly been starstruck enough to be like on somebody's jock to like, yo, let me cut your hair for free or whatever the case may be, or let me take a picture. I'll let you do. You're a regular guy. You bleed like I do. Whatever.
Right.
But
I kind of take pride in not asking them for the autograph or the
Mhm.
picture because I feel like that makes you 100% more likable, and then you're more than likely, able to meet again or whatever.
yeah.
Especially in a barber setting.
I mean, really,
But,
truly, at the end of the day, it really depends on how the conversation goes, if there is any at all. I mean, if there's not a conversation, then I won't bother to ask for an interview, for a photo or an autograph. I mean, we should like low key amongst ourselves in the shop kind of like come to an agreement that if we come across, if one of us comes across a celebrity, that one of us should be able to take sneak a picture, right?
Yeah.
Or say, hey, is it all right if I take a picture of you two, while he's in, doing action, whatever. I think that go through a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Rather than, the one doing the work, asking for an autograph or picture and, appearing thirsty or whatever.
Right.
But really, depending on how the conversation goes, if the dude comes out to be like really cool, down to earth, and hey, listen, is it okay if I take a picture with you because like I really do like your work.
Yeah.
And you
being
let me
them out
know.
in public and being in your chair is 100% different too. Like, dude, I saw Black Thought. You know Black Thought, right? I saw him walking out of shooting the Jimmy Fallon show one day in New York. We were right. Where the fuck is that? Why am I blanking on where they shoot that? Anyway, he was walking out like the back door. I'm like, holy shit, that's Black Thought right there. And I'm just like, hey, Tariq, salute, man, salute. That's all. That's all I wanted. I didn't want to blow up the spot a little bit.
Yeah,
that was it. So
I
I
mean,
felt good about that. Like I was like, man, yeah, he appreciated that.
Years ago, Akon was over here up in the Mall of Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the Mall of Georgia for the 4th of July. And the only reason why I even recognized him was the simple fact I was wondering, like, yo, who is this dark dude wearing an Adidas all black, Adidas sweatsuit, being surrounded by
something to his hair.
Yeah, no,
I mean that LeBron.
Like, first of all, he was like either by my height or shorter. Number one. Number two, I was carrying a whole bunch of stuff on me. Like I had the tent, I had the chairs, because I took the whole fam over to the Mall of Georgia for the 4th of July. They have an amazing show out there.
Oh.
With the fireworks and whatnot, and so it's pretty cool. And I saw like 2 or 3 big 6 foot and some change, 300 some pound guys surrounding them. So I took a really good look. I'm like, yo, that's Akon. Told my wife told her sisters, and she and her sisters ran all the way to go say what's up to the guy.
Convict.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe who knows? If I wasn't so loaded up with stuff, I probably would have went over there, try to shake the man's hand just to say, yo, dude, I love your work, and especially what you're doing back home, in your country. And shook his hand and kept it moving. That's what really. That's all I would have done.
Dude, he crushed it. He's still crushing it. A lot of people don't realize like how many like his fingerprints are over a lot of shit.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Just so I'm looking at that 1%. It scared me a little bit.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, Rock, I think you'll just drop out if it. Yeah, that's why I was like pit because my wife was in here doing her class, and I wanted to grab my laptop to just get some juice in it before we started. But I'm definitely more nervous cutting a barber though, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I start using like 40 towels. So using an abnormal amount of shit I normally don't use. I'm just like getting through it sometimes. Sometimes you get that tunnel vision. But yeah, dog, it's.
All right, dude, I'm over here just trying to log into my phone real quick just in case we get cut off. Let's see if you want to try to continue the interview.
Have it ready to rock.
Yeah.
So yeah, let me pull up some chiropractic type shit. Some stuff barbers need to probably familiarize yourself with.
And all the way out. Just let it all go. Let the body sink to the table. Beautiful.
Yeah, number one, the chiropractor I went to, he said this was bullshit. Like, this is horrific for you to do this. But it just looks like it's so damn like
satisfying.
Yeah, I would 100% do this at least once.
Well, I mean, I will say this. I've never done that before. I've been to the chiropractor. It does feel great when they're adjusting you.
Right.
But in that situation, I might let them do it.
Down towards me.
I would let this go. Dude, this guy's the king of cracks, they call him on Instagram. That guy's the one for sure. It's the kids say he's him. But I could watch those chiropractor videos all day, dude. Like yeah, they have you been to one here yet? Have you found one?
I mean, before I left, I did find one, but truth
I
be
mean, like
told,
locally yet.
yeah.
I'm on the prowl. I'm about to make that jump, make that leap here soon.
I mean, you know, you had that one client that was telling you about
That guy was
joints.
a PT. He was a physical therapist. I've
Yeah,
actually
so
a couple. Well,
I mean, I think he'd be a good source for you to give you a recommendation of who to go see.
yeah, that's a good point because I mean, a lot of people call bullshit on chiropractors too. There's a lot of BS out there. I hear like massage is a little better for you.
Well, I mean, again, it really depends on what exactly you're trying to achieve. Because if you're trying to be adjusted and realigned, because let's say you have back pains, usually that depends on the type of compression, or you need some kind of decompression in your spine. It also could be the way like for example, when we're sitting for a long time, but a lot of us tend to keep wallets in our back pocket.
Yep,
So that extra inch or two, depending on how much paper you got in there, it's twisting your spine a little bit. So
there he is. But we're back just like that. We're back just like that. Oh wait, there you go. Now you're unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Dude, we took that right in stride. That was nice.
But yeah, like I was saying, like it really depends on the type of how your spine is compressed, how everything needs alignment, because there's a difference between I guess muscle pain and what the joints are doing. So you just try to find the right person to help with that. That's important. So educating yourself on it, so that way you can ask the right questions and know when to call bullshit.
No doubt. So a lot of barbers, it comes part with the course as being a barber. Sometimes we do a lot of sitting in the shop. Hopefully you ain't got the wallet in the pocket there. But what do you kind of do when you're slow at the shop to just maybe gain something out of it, or kind of just get your mind right for whoever's coming in? Like, what do you do when you're slow?
Like right now?
No,
Starting,
I mean, we all go through we'll go through stretches there for sure.
Well, me personally, it depends on what I have going on, because there is some stuff that I do to have to take care of that's does not involve the shop.
Right.
So I might sit in the back and journal a little bit, or work on a business plan, or trying to figure out some things like having to do with family. Because right now my wife and I, since we're staying with family, we're looking at trying to find a place. So it just really depends on
the job itself.
Yeah, so try to spend some most of my time productively as much as possible, but also enjoy those slow times where you can just take advantage of the fact that if I'm not watching TV at home, because as soon as I come home, I got honey-do list to take care of, and then the kids and whatnot. So you spend a little time scrolling through Instagram a little bit, or stream something. It just depends. I just know
One thing
about
I
work.
try not to do is spend money, because that's a problem. You start sitting there, you're not making money.
Right.
And you start spending it, and you're like, God, I got stuff fucking ordering shit. What I do usually when I know I got like 3 hours where I'm gonna be sitting. I start walking around the building is what I like to do, because I'm on my little weight loss journey there. So I make sure I am somewhat active, because just sitting on your ass, that's not going to do it for me. Because especially if I know I got a couple days off in a row coming up, I know I'm probably going to dive into the food there. So
I mean, don't get me wrong. See, that's why I mentioned the things that I did. One, because it can't be always about the grind. But
Yeah.
it just depends on also what your goals are.
Yeah.
If like for example, in your case, if you're walking around the block a few times, you're not gonna see the same person, walking around the block with you.
No.
So if anything, just have some cards with you, introduce yourself real quick.
Exactly. That's what I did exactly when I
Yeah.
first started.
Or just say, hey, excuse me, listen, you look kind of sharp. Hey, did you know that there's a shop over here? Oh
And
no,
then
I
they just
didn't know.
they just keep walking. And it's like, fair enough. Have a good one.
Hey, it's okay.
Right. No, that happens. That happens. Some people just keep walking. Actually, gotta come in like that, like 3 minutes later after doing that.
Yeah.
And I walked away from him, and then I just got a text that didn't make sense. Anyway, I walked away from him. I walked in the shop, and there he was walking in. I'm like, look at that. It worked. But yeah, like sometimes, I might do a thorough clean on my station or something. I kind
There
of
you
use
go.
that time for that.
There you go.
Like I'm not, I don't take another fault of mine. I really don't take an extreme amount of time to do a thorough cleaning. Like obviously my tools, my brushes, my combs, they're clean, but like, yeah, I'm not digging out 10 products and wiping down underneath the, whatever every single day. Like I'm more or less doing the thorough stuff if I'm slow. So I always take advantage doing that too. Or I might actually take a rare lunch break because I never do that. That's back to the intermittent fasting. I use that work time as a time not to eat.
Hey, well, I mean, we do what we gotta do.
Yeah.
I mean, you reminded me too, with that story you just shared about talking to somebody 3 minutes later they show up.
Mm-hmm.
When I first got started, the shop that I worked at, we actually, that particular owner, he ended up partnering with a stylist, and they opened up a larger shop together.
Okay.
And it happened to be in a Kroger's Plaza. So I was extremely slow. I was still in the beginning stages. I had just gotten my license in 2009.
09. That's when I graduated high school, dude. You've been chopping up dudes since.
Yeah. And so what I did was like, the owner was like, hey, Miguel, maybe, if you happen to go outside, make sure you let people know that there's a shop here. I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right. So whenever I would walk over to the Kroger just to get a drink, I would stop people like, hey, do you know there's a barbershop open up over here? He said, really? Yeah, like, yeah, come see me. I'm over here. My name is Miguel. I'm just gonna stop by here and get a drink real quick. Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Or I'll be in inside Kroger's going through the aisles, talking to folks. I mean, I nearly got kicked out a few times by the managers. They're like, hey man, dude, you can't be soliciting our customers.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I didn't see that there was no soliciting policy here, but hey, just so you know, there's a barbershop right up this way. Come see.
I'm just saying though.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Right?
And he just laughed at me, and you're like, man, get out of here. If you're not buying, you bothering our customers. Like, no problem.
Like, come on, it's Kroger. Relax.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. And I also there used to be a bank inside that Kroger, so I also purposely opened up an account there, so that way I actually had actual business to deal with while I was soliciting the customers.
Dude, I had 2 clients today. I didn't have any cards on me. My wallet was empty. I normally put like 10 in my wallet.
Dude.
Then, I don't know why I don't keep them all at the shop. I want them still like I want them everywhere.
Look,
he's got one strapped. Wait, what is that? That's the dot. I've seen those.
Yes.
Those are nice.
So
QR codes all over the spot right now.
Right.
Scan that.
Yeah. See, so even when I don't have cards, I prefer this, and I got this just maybe the week before my cards came in, because I'm truth be told, I was already there for like 2 months and my cards still hadn't come in.
Right,
so like, you know what, I can't. I got clients asking me for my card. Right. So if you just get a dot card, dude, it's
got
a
everything
game changer
on there. So you can put what all can you put on there?
all your social medias, really, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The list goes
Any
on.
other links?
You can add links to your website. You can add links to your Instagram. Put your phone number, your website if you got it.
Those are great for like BarberCon. Did you go to BarberCon?
I did.
Yes. Did you have that yet?
No,
It'd
I
be
didn't.
good though. I mean, BarberCon. I mean, you're not gonna like recruit clients there really, but like
No,
maybe
I mean
sell some product or
it's
something.
definitely a good definitely a good way to network, because actually what inspired who inspired me to get it, you go ahead through it, because I've been thinking about it for a long time, or for a little bit. What's his name? Damn, I forget his name. It might have been, I think, Patty Cuts or whoever, some guy, I
The
forget.
Philly guy, right?
Huh?
The Philly dude, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was there with Will, and he and I were walking around together, and I think he saw Patty. He was there, and I think Patty was actually promoting also his school he's opening up. I mean, again, I might be wrong on who it was, because he said he's actually opening up a school here in Georgia.
Okay.
So it might not be Patty, but let's just assume it was him. Long story short, he actually pulled out his card, because Will had asked him for a business card. He pulled out the dot card. Will scanned it. All his info came up there and everything. I was like, yo, that was cool. I like the way it looked. It looked really professional. It looked really clean.
It's metal, right?
Huh?
Is it metal?
No, it's plastic.
Oh, really?
No, it's plastic. I mean, I'm sure they have metal ones.
I think it was metal for some
Yeah,
reason.
there's different companies out there doing the exact same thing. One called Entrepreneur, other one I don't know what. But yeah.
To your socials, what's the Groomsmith company? What is that? Is that your kind of thing? You might, whatever.
I mean, pretty much that name was born out of the original company that I had already started when I had my suite, the American Groomsmith.
It's a good name. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, right now I still have it, so you can't take it. but like, all jokes aside, I settled on American Groomsmith when I opened the suite. I thought it was a catchy name, but when it came to if I ever did decide to do anything international, let's say, it just emphasized just on American only, and didn't seem like more of an international name. So I decided to just settle for the Groomsmith Co. So that way,
always more. That was the podcast.
Huh?
I was going to call this podcast "Your Barber is a Person." I think that was just like a client that made me feel like I was a robot or some shit. I'm like, oh, fuck this, man. I'm like, Your Barber is a Person podcast, and I'm like, yeah, that's a mouthful. Just Your Barber. That's kind of a lot more catchy.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta play with it a little bit to kind of finally come down to the right one. Because even the American Groomsmith, that's something that I've been developing for a long time, even before I left the original shop to go to the suite. Just kind of like with my logo. I mean, I just kept redrawing it over and over and over until I finally settled on what I got. I mean, I haven't showed it to anybody in years, but right now it's right there in the drawer somewhere, just waiting to come out and be known eventually.
No doubt, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just got a couple more questions for you on the social media front. There, have you ever you post plenty, right?
I guess. I mean, I'm still old school. I prefer word of mouth, honestly.
No doubt.
But I'm trying. I'm working on it. Definitely working on it.
Have you ever taken a trip on the Indian algorithm yet on Reels?
Indian algorithm,
dude, you hit this fucking groove sometimes. It's just a bunch of like Indian names you've never seen before, and they just start pop popping through. I'm like, holy shit, I got like 15,000 views on this thing. And then sometimes they just ditch you. Sometimes just like that they're gone without a trace. But
Right.
that and dude, it was like anything you got a story. If you put something up on your story, someone likes it. There's like a sex bot that pops up. You're like, okay, so like what the fuck is this?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, ever since I started posting on Reels, more Reels than actual content on my what do you call that? My wall. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of these young girls, liking my stuff.
Right. It's not even a real person, even.
Like whatever. At this point, I'll take whatever like I can get, just to activate the algorithm in my favor.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes, you put that. Sometimes it's all about the audio and shit too.
Yeah.
So real quick, we'll finish up. Befriending clients. What do you think about this? It's a very rare scenario for me when it works out, or when I even, that's one thing about moving around a lot. I talk about with like my wife, the socialite. I'm like, I don't want new friends. Like, I don't like you. I built this distance up since we moved so much. Like, I don't want to invest any more time or effort into people that I know might not be around.
Well, I mean, okay, well, look, I'm on the same boat as you.
Yeah.
Since I left New York, I left pretty much everything, all my friends, family. I left everybody over there. And since coming to Georgia, I was on a constant grind. I mean, 16-hour days.
Hey, who are you around the most? People we work with, coworkers, clients,
coworkers, really.
Yeah.
But look, here's the thing: as a kid growing up in New York City, it's not the easiest because you really can't truly trust anybody who calls you friend. So
that shield's pretty thick.
Yeah. So one thing I told myself when I was young, like, look, I'm gonna set a pretty high standard on who I call friends. If people don't meet that standard, then we're just associates. And at this point in time, if I haven't known you for years, and you haven't met my family or my kids or whatever, if my mother doesn't know who you are, we ain't friends. It's just that plain simple.
Right.
If as a matter of fact, if I don't introduce you as my friend, and I say you're my coworker or you're a client, or you're an associate at the end of the day.
Right.
Because the word friend has been thrown around so much, it's it's lost all meaning.
No doubt, dude.
So
just like a lot of words for sure.
Yeah. So I think really, and I'm going to assume by saying in our position, right? But in our position, I think what we can do is just still maintain relationship with the people that we're mostly around, with coworkers, clients, those who we develop good relationships with. I mean, look, if they
have you ever befriended a client?
I mean, look, 11 years at one shop, you have no choice but end up having to befriend somebody, especially after you've been cutting their hair for 10 years or more, right? It's again, it's still difficult for me to call anybody friend.
Same.
Right?
If I didn't grow up with you, it's very difficult.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, like the one client who I mess with while being on time and whatnot.
Yeah.
This dude, he's met my kids, he's met my wife.
Right.
He's gone. He's been to some of our.
If you meet my family, you definitely passed a wall that a lot of people can't get past.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, because for me, like I like to keep things separate. Business is in business. Sometimes I struggle with my wife sometimes because she wants to work from home, and I'm a very private person. So it's like I don't want strangers coming into my sanctuary.
Right.
I don't like random.
I got this awareness, like I'm being judged 24/7.
No,
especially if someone's in my house.
Yeah,
I'm like, you know how it goes. You got kids. Like,
look, there's a big difference between a messy house and a lived-in house.
Right. No
Big
doubt.
difference. A house that's lived in, there's
100%.
gonna be a little bit of a mess, especially when you have kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so being
You got
judged is
kids,
not.
you pick one day where it's just wiped clean, and then like 30 minutes after that, dude, it's already disaster.
Right.
So I clean my whole day off typically. Every day I have off, I'm getting after it a little bit. I'm a
Shit,
dishes guy. I'm a laundry guy.
you better get the kids involved because shoot, I know
Oh, I try.
dude, my two eldest, I got a 16 and a 14-year-old, right?
Yeah.
As soon as they hit 5 years old, they'll start learning how to wash dishes, how to fold clothes, how to do laundry.
Yep.
I mean, they even grew up in the barbershop sweeping.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, funny story is that my son, he's 16 now. Yeah? He's my oldest. About 2 months ago, I think it was, he started his new job working for one of our favorite fast food chains. I'm not going to give him any type of promotion here.
Gotcha.
But,
Whataburger. That's all you had? Nah.
the good burger.
Yeah.
But he had asked me like, he's like, Father, I'm here trying to fill out these applications, but they're asking about my work history. I'm like, okay, yeah, so put something down. He's like, well, I'd never really had a job. I'm like, dude, you worked in the barbershop for the last 11 years. You can't tell me you don't have work experience.
Right.
And he was like, he thought about
he
like
developed than he realizes there.
Yeah. I mean, he was like, oh shoot, you're right. I'm like, what? This is how you're gonna phrase it. You help with janitorial work, you help with customer service, and you help with whatever the barbers needed when they needed it. So you pretty much was an associate of the shop.
Yep. Associate assistant. Yeah.
Yeah. So if these big chain companies ask you, well, how is it that you're a 16-year-old and have 11 years of experience? Is that, well, you share a good story.
Yeah, that's big, bro.
Yeah, I mean, the simple fact that he can say that, that he'd been working since he was 5, goes a long way, because again, it just is a good story to tell if you can frame it right. Because he was asking me, Father, but what about wouldn't that get you in trouble with child labor laws? I'm like, no, because the government, the IRS, I could put you on my payroll and give you $12,500 a year tax free.
Right.
And I charge that off into my business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right off.
So that money, if you really look into it, the IRS, they don't care.
No.
If the IRS says it's okay, that's part of the government.
Yeah.
So government's not gonna hit me up for child labor laws.
No.
If the only reason why child labor laws were even invented was for the simple fact that the kids were being worked for many hours as adults, and they were paid very, very little. My guy, worked one day a week, and you got paid very, very well.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes you walk out there with $100 in one day.
That's awesome as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I
love
love
everything. He could go buy whatever he wanted.
I mean, he learned how to save his money. He usually saved about 50% of it, and the other 50 he set it aside to go buy himself a laptop. He bought himself a Nintendo Switch.
Hey.
Now that he's making money, an actual job, with an actual paycheck that he has to pay taxes on. He bought himself a 3D printer.
Ooh, there you go.
So
there's a business right there he could dive into.
I already spoken to him on that. Right now he's just trying to perfect it to where he's making quality product.
Takes time.
Yeah, he's figuring it out. He's 16, so we'll see.
No doubt. In PA, I had one client where he invited me to go watch a UFC fight at his house, like a big party, pool party, everything. And I cut his son's hair too, and his son was around my daughter's age at the time. So I'm like, you know what? I might bring my kid. Well, I think I brought it because like my wife had to work or something, so I had to bring him along, bring her along. And he lived like super close to me too, so I'm like, all right, I might even be able to put down a couple beers here.
Yeah.
So at that. Dude, I shotgunned like 3 beers at that thing. Like, I haven't shotgunned a beer since I was like 21 or 20, like prior to that. Like,
yeah.
So Nah, I take that back. Since I lived in Morgantown, it was the last time I shotgunned a beer, so I was probably 23. But yeah, I was like, I'm having a blast. This is kind of fun. I'm like, dude, and mad clients I already cut were like his friends too, and they start coming over. I'm like, oh shit, I know this guy.
Yeah.
And so it was a blast. We're there till like midnight. And this fucking guy moves to Tampa in like 3 months. I'm like, like this is why I don't do this shit.
Well, I mean, dude, really, yeah, it sounds to me like, you know, there was the potential of, you know, something really good happening there.
Yeah.
But, you know, something else took him away.
The Super Bowl, actually.
I mean, truth be told, it's like, look, the thing is, as long as you guys still stay in touch and maintain that relationship, you know, it doesn't matter where he goes or where you go. You know, the relationship is always going to be there. And the simple fact that, you don't have to write correspondence, you know, like a type of letter to each other, like, you know, like back in the day. Just call him up, FaceTime, like, yo, how's it going?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, he was sending me pictures of his like kid's haircut. He kind of got a little Kenny Powers look going right now. I'm like, oh,
I mean,
shit.
Look, when it comes to building a relationship with clients, it doesn't have to be complicated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because, you know, there's a business relationship there involved too.
Yeah.
You know, as long as the boundaries, as long as boundaries are set, you know, that's all that matters. It's truly up to you as the professional to decide those business boundaries. You know, and that person chooses not to respect them, then they don't really respect you. So, you know, because I mean, I've been to quite a few of my clients' weddings, a couple of their bachelor parties I've been to. I've gotten a few clients from there, you know, like just going to their event.
You can't help but use it as, you know, a networking opportunity too.
I mean, dude, I mean, I had a couple of my clients as my groomsmen at my wedding. So, I mean,
these people. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to avoid that. Like,
well, because dude, is you know, you're building a relationship. You know,
yeah.
if
Every now and then you just come across someone too. You're just like, I mean, come on.
Yeah,
I could picture myself being a friend with this guy. Like,
again, the thing is that if you become the community's barber, you're no longer just. You're no longer just living in the community. You are a staple in the community.
Yep.
People come to you for professional help. You know, with
at the same time, you end up being a staple in that community. When you go out in public, you're kind of like your eyes are always like, who am I going to run into, right?
True, but really, you know, when I used to be scared of that because I actually. In Loganville, I actually moved into the apartments right across the street from the barbershop I was working at.
Oh God, yeah.
So yeah, I could easily walk to work, right? But here's the thing about that: I was really nervous running into people at the Kroger's, at Walmart, you know, things like that, because I had run into those people. And
dude, say it's a brand new client, you don't even really remember their name. That's almost my biggest fear, right?
Yeah.
Hey, there he is.
That's all you do. That's what I did.
Hey, Matt. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, how's it going? How you been?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember this person, but yo, how have you been? How's everything? How's the haircut working out for you?
There
you go. Know, sometimes you know. It goes like that.
Up the name.
No. See, and then what happens is that they say, "Hey, what do you have available next week?" Dude, I don't have my appointment book with me.
Yeah.
That's before the online booking.
Yeah.
Right?
Let me see. Dude? Give me a call.
What I did was, look, do you have my number? He's like, yeah. Text me the day and time you want. As soon as I get to my book, I'll hit you back up with see if I have it available.
You still didn't get his name.
Nice seeing you again.
That's you still didn't get his name though.
Doesn't matter. Because when they text me and I don't have their phone number, I'm like, who's this again?
There you go.
Now, this is what also works. What's the best way to spell your name?
Yeah.
See?
Like, dude, your name's not on my phone. How you spell your last name?
No, not even. I'm like, dude, I'm terrible with names. Yeah. How do I spell your name? Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's Matt. Okay. Is it 1 T or 2 T's?
It's Tom. It's like,
okay.
All right.
I'm like, dude, I don't know if you want me to spell it as Thomas.
I know you were Thomas, Tommy.
Yeah, you're right. See?
So
there's always a way around it.
Salami in the building.
Dude, there's always a way around it. Just gotta be, quick on your feet when thinking.
Yeah, lately me and Miguel, we've been kind of on the mob movie, vernacular in the shop. Recently, we just been like, oh, the fucking guy, he was a degenerate. I told you, dude. Guy, no show me, fucking degenerate.
And not just that, he forgot the fucking cannolis.
Right. Hey, not for nothing, the cannolis were good. I mean, yeah.
Not the guy, he's bullshit, but the cannolis are good.
Yeah. So Miguel, on that note, my man, I appreciate you coming on here, dude. Do you work tomorrow?
No.
Okay, good.
Nope. Tomorrow is all day with the kids.
I'm starting to get worried about that. I was like, fuck. You got work tomorrow.
Nah.
What time you get up in the morning? The kiddos and everything.
Dude, I wake up like every hour on the hour.
Really? You have a hard time sleeping?
Well, I mean, when you got a kid kicking you in your face in the middle of the night.
You're in that phase.
Yeah.
Right? That's one thing I've been super blessed with my daughter. She's always been, except for when she was like a newborn, she's always been 12 hours, 10-hour sleeper. But I'm the type of guy, like, even when my daughter was a newborn, like, I'm not waking up, going back to sleep. I'm not waking, like, I'm up. I'm staying up. And then I'll sleep during the day or something when the newborn or whenever I get a chance, 3-hour naps, whatever.
Right. Whatever she's sleeping, you sleeping.
Like I get pissed if I go back to sleep and wake up again. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm staying up.
Look, dude, I've been doing it for so long that it's like second nature to me now.
I'm conditioned for it now.
Yeah, I'm conditioned to it. I mean, I'm a fairly light sleeper, anyways. Even when he wasn't around, it was just my wife and I. She, when I move on the bed, I know I'm waking up briefly. Then I go back to sleep. When my wife moves, I wake up. Then I go back to sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always on high
my
alert.
wife needs her 8 hours. She's very hard, dude. I knock out. But if I get up, I'm up. Like I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I need at least 5 to 6 hours of sleep. For me to be like that.
I'm good on 6.5 normally. Yeah. Like that's that full night for me.
Yeah. So lately it's been like 6 a.m. I get up.
That's good. I wake up around 7. So I'm about to start running on this treadmill I ordered here soon. So I might be getting up even earlier, especially because I gotta get the kid to school.
Yeah.
If I'm off or something, wake up a little later. But yeah, dude. So yeah, I appreciate you, man, making time in your busy schedule to hop on the Your Barber podcast, dropping some gems. We talked about a lot, dude. You dropped a lot of gems on us today. So I appreciate you lending that knowledge. And,
I hope it was valuable, man. The people who's watching, they get something valuable out of it. And truth be told, that if they have any more questions, they got both our IG
handles right here.
They got our handles, so drop by in the DMs or make a request for me to come back. Shoot, this was fun.
Dude, I'll have you back on. We got a lot more to talk about.
Hey,
this was a good baseline. There he
who
is.
Who said I have more to talk about, man?
Right?
I mean, they got tight lips. They don't say shit.
Hey, say less. I got you.
Yeah.
All right, my man. Have a good night.
All right, now, have a good one.
Take it easy.